Hello and welcome to another Looney Tunes review video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to follow my journey to review all 1000 Looney Tunes shorts and give this video a like as well. So this is a review for What Price Porky, released in 1938. It's the 192nd in the series and it's directed by Bob Clampett. You can find this on DVD on the Looney Tunes Golden Collection Volume 5 DVD set, also on the Porky Pig 101 DVD set, and in high definition on HBO Max. Now, in case you haven't seen this hilarious short, and I do recommend you go and see it, I can't show it here due to the fact it's not in the public domain, but essentially, these wild ducks are taking Porky's corn, which he was using to feed his chickens, and as a result, well, things escalate mighty quickly. So you have this big war between the chickens and the ducks, and poor Porky's right in the middle of it all. So what you're about to see is a re-edit of the original audio commentary I had on the channel. Thanks to Blue Genocide for redoing it for me. Plus there'll be a few new thoughts and some new observations I may have seen since, and also there'll be a sample from the Bob Clampett Retrospective Part 1, so grab some popcorn, or in this case a picnic, and enjoy. So yeah, with this cartoon, you know those memes that you see around where it's someone saying, you know, well, that escalated quickly? Well, this cartoon is definitely that meme come to life, I can tell you that. You know, you think it's just going to be a nice little, I guess, Farmer Porky type story, but no, we get a bit of a war happening, and not a bit of a war, actually, a major war. It's absolutely nuts. So basically, this is the first cartoon that Bob Clampett directed on his own without Chuck Jones being co-director, or assistant director rather, and oh, and by the way, he still animates, so in this scene here where he's begging the ducks to bring back the corn, you know, because the chickens will starve, blah, blah, blah. So that's basically Chuck Jones animation. So he still sticks around, and Chuck doesn't direct again until he gets his own, I think it takes over Tashlin's unit, I believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong there, once Tashlin ends up leaving later on in 1938. Now, I've been told that this is done by John Carey, who animated the ducks saluting the head duck around there. And when you see the bit with Porky, sort of keeping the two, I guess, keep the two combatant sides away from each other. It's done by Norm McCabe. It's weird how you got these Daffy Duck-esque characters where, you know, Daffy Duck by this point had only been in 2 shorts, and this one's just filled with different, I guess, Daffy Duck characters, but he had that one duck that was voiced, sounded like Donald for a moment, which is strange. But this gag is great, just looking ready to fight, and yeah, that's pretty good. So now I was given an actual quote from Bob Clampett by Austin Kelly, so once again, thank you for providing this. But in regards to writing this cartoon, you know, he states, "I wrote most of that as I was driving home, and I put the animation paper beside me on the seat of my car, and I'd be thinking of gags, and as I would come to a stoplight, I would jot down what I could think of. Then I took that and drew up the complete storyboards myself." Because at this point, yeah, he didn't have a writing team as such, he just did it all himself until finally they gave him a writing team. And that shows. And that probably explains why this one's a lot rawer than his later efforts, because this one's just gag after gag after gag with no real story whatsoever. I love that animation with this Porky's nose. I would definitely take a look. But there's Daffy once again. Proto-Daffy rather. Bob was great with all these wild gags, but he definitely needed someone to maybe ground him that little bit, just to make the story work. And if you agree with me, let me know. If you disagree with me, please let me know. That doesn't mean this cartoon's not bad, like not a good cartoon by no means. It's hilarious. I mean, I'm enjoying myself way too much looking at these sort of cartoons. As raw as this one may be, it's just so much fun. So much fun. But yeah, as I said before, let me know what you think about this one in the comments below. This cartoon is definitely the definition of well, that escalated quickly. That's it just starts off so peacefully, and then get this all-out war, and Porky's just in the middle of it all. And this is when Chuck was sort of moving back from being the assistant director, and he was still an animator, but his influence, you can see, is getting less and less, and Clampett is getting more wilder and wilder, and it's just an insane cartoon, and definitely one of the best of the earlier Clampetts. Anyone want to share their thoughts on What Price Porky?
I gotta say, like, having seen this cartoon so many times, when I was younger and I found out that Daffy Duck was in this, I was actually shocked because I was like, wait, Daffy Duck was in this? And obviously I see it now, but Daffy's appearance was like so well defined by Tex Avery that by the time Clampett was starting to use him, especially in another cartoon that we'll talk about soon, he is well defined, but just not as much as how well defined as he was before. So he kind of comes off as how directors like Frank Tashin and Norman McCabe would do him, just maybe just without the right amount of personality or something. But in this cartoon, like, he escalates stuff so quickly, and it's the funniest thing. I almost never get that from a lot of other cartoons with Daffy Duck, even at this point in his career. When he tricks Porky into believing he's the Easter Bunny, it's really, nope, just a bunch of little ducklings who are a bunch of wisecrackers. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly right. Alrighty, so here are some further observations. First of all, the title, What Price Porky? That comes from a play called What Price Glory, which was also a 1926 film. And I haven't seen it, so if you have seen it, definitely let me know. Now, this dance that the chickens seem to be doing here, it's very similar to a dance that you see at the end of Africa Squeaks. I asked around, and no one seems to know what the name of this dance is, so if you know what it is, definitely let me know, because, yeah, I'm stumped. I swear this letter is one of the funniest things in this short, and it appears very briefly, so you might end up missing it, but here it is. And look at how much bird puns Clampett squeezed into this one letter. It is fantastic, including the name of the person that's causing all of this, General Quacko, Ductator. It's incredible. And it's also probably the closest thing to a swear word in a Warner Brothers short, but hey, it's funny, it works. Because we all know cartoons were just for kids, right? Here we have a reference to Mussolini in terms of this march, and of course the duck looks like Mussolini. And we also see a little bit of a repeated animation. This duck, it's from the most unlikeliest of sources, but it's from Buddy the Gob, where they've redrawn the ships to be like the ducks. It's incredible. I love it.
Oh, that's loud. Nobody, boss, but us chickens.
Well, that was pretty brutal, but that phrase, nobody here but us chickens, that actually is a saying that was used as like a sarcastic answer for, hey, who else would be here? And it's weird how we also kind of heard Donald Duck there. Very weird. Now, this scene is interesting because keep in mind when this cartoon came out, World War II had not started yet, and World War I was still in people's recent memory. And so what happened in World War I, especially in Gallipoli, see where I'm in Australia, we are actually taught about Gallipoli and the tragedies that happened there, where you would have the trenches, the officer in charge would blow a whistle, people would go out of the trenches and then basically run to their deaths because the Turks at Gallipoli were just mow them down with machine guns. So I just thought that was interesting, and that's the first thing that came to mind when I saw that scene. I mean, it's funny, don't get me wrong, but If you have the time, watch the movie Gallipoli. That stars Mel Gibson. I know Mel Gibson, but it's a great film and it shows you just the horrors of what happened at that time. Boy, is this Easter egg scene funny. I mean, why? Why Easter eggs? I mean, and that shot, by the way, is absolutely beautiful. You know, it's like I mentioned earlier, it's definitely one of those World War I references. I mean, of just how bleak it actually was. But I don't know, this is just so surreal. And as I mentioned in my original commentary, I just love the animation, of course, of Porky, as I just showed in slow motion. But take a look at the repeated animation here. That's actually from Porky's Duck Hunt. So there you go. I mean, it's a great piece of animation, so why not reuse it? And here we have a wonderful Marx Brothers joke coming from the film Duck Soup.
Good, you're hired. Now, go out in that battlefield and lead those men to victory. Go on, they're waiting for you.
I wouldn't go out there unless I was in one of those big iron things. Go up and down like this. What do you call those things?
Tanks.
You're welcome.
And finally, look, I love the fact that it looks as though that the chicken's going to win, but of course Daffy has the last laugh in setting his secret weapon with all these little eggs right there. It's such a good ending. So what would I rate this one? Honestly, I'll give this one 8.5 out of 10. It is so funny, and just like in Duck Soup, from that clip I showed you a moment ago, every time I watch it, I find something new. And not all the jokes land in this one. It is a little bit on the raw side. I still stand by what I said before, because Clampett only just really started directing, but he's getting so much better and better at it. But I think when he has his second unit, he does a lot better, but even with this unit, he's made some incredible stuff, and this is definitely one of them. So that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, take care.